Silence. Only the cracking of ice and the endless hum of a frozen ocean. When I first stepped onto this iceberg, I was thinking about one thing only: the scale of my goal. To build something beautiful here and challenge the Ender Dragon. But there's one problem. Even in iron armor, the cold cuts straight to the bone. Because in this video, I'm beating Minecraft using only iron armor, and this island doesn't forgive mistakes. Enjoy the video. Day 1. I spawned on an iceberg surrounded by endless glaciers in brutally cold conditions. Right away, my eyes locked onto something strange: bamboo. Somehow, it survived here. Honestly, I have more questions than answers, but my main concern is figuring out how to survive without freezing or starving. I harvested the bamboo and just stood there, trying to think of what to do next. To clear my head and buy some time to come up with a plan, I decided to swim in the freezing water and try fishing. Surprisingly, fish are still alive here, but will I survive? That's the real question. As I watch the sunset over these dark, icy giants, I suddenly notice a tiny patch of dirt buried deep under endless gravel. Well, maybe I do have a chance. Without wasting time, I planted 2 bamboo shoots and had a small snack in the pitch darkness to regain some strength. But beneath the iceberg, drowned, were already waiting for me, so now I have another problem I'll constantly have to deal with. Day 2. I don't want to just sit around, and while the bamboo grows, I definitely need something to do. Fishing is going well, and at this point food is partially taken care of. Suddenly, around noon, I found some ruins and quickly checked the chest to see what was inside. But the peaceful moment was shattered by a drowned with a trident. I had to run immediately. While escaping, I stumbled upon a massive glacier with the wreckage of a ship on top. Honestly, I never expected this, but it's a great chance to get some starter resources. I rushed inside and found a decent amount of iron and my first emeralds, but the most valuable thing here? Wooden planks. With them, I can finally craft my first crafting table, tools, and weapons. Night was approaching fast, and I was gathering everything in a panic, and for good reason. Out of nowhere, a creeper showed up, and once again I had to run for my life. Thanks to the coal I found, I managed to light up my icy island, and I'd say the start of this survival was a success. Day 3. Using a door, I managed to reach the patch of dirt I found earlier and collect it for my needs. To be honest, I have a lot of problems right now, but the first thing I want to do is expand my bamboo farm to get more building blocks. By noon, my iceberg started to slowly come to life, but I'll admit it already feels way too cramped. I crafted my first iron axe and went hunting for fish to refill my food supply. The axe is actually stronger than a sword, so one hit is enough to turn swimming food into items in my inventory. By sunset, I returned to land and made my first bamboo planks. I still don't understand how this bamboo survived in such harsh conditions, but I definitely owe it a thank you. At night, I went down to the ocean floor to mine cobblestone for stone tools and to expand my island. Day 4. Of course, I collected the grown bamboo and tried to increase its production as quickly as possible. I made a furnace, and now eating fish feels a lot better. I killed a drowned with a nautilus shell and kept hunting, hoping not to drown myself. I have a small supply of planks, and I'm slowly building a platform out of slabs to expand my survival space. I need a proper food farm, a cobblestone generator, a mob farm, but I'm still far from all of that. Using the door trick, I continued gathering dirt, which is basically priceless in this survival. At night, I went searching for iron, hoping to craft my first set of armor soon. Day 5. While digging, I occasionally found patches of dirt, and that's something I can't ignore. About 99% of the ocean floor is gravel, so the only way to get dirt is by mining and exploring caves. When I got back home, I smelted all the iron and set up my first storage area. Time is flying, and thankfully, I'm slowly gathering the resources I need to bring my plans to life. With cobblestone and stone swords, I managed to speed up bamboo collection significantly, but even now, it's nowhere near enough. I crafted another batch of slabs and continued expanding the iceberg, but with resources like this, I'm not getting far. After 5 sleepless nights, phantoms finally showed up up, and that's going to be a huge problem. I don't have wool, I don't have a bed, and honestly, I have no idea where to get them in a place like this. Day 6. To at least protect myself a bit, I crafted my first shield and kept gathering iron for armor. I spent a long time thinking about what to do next, and realized it's time to explore the surroundings. Around noon, I ran into an angry Poseidon with a trident and immediately swam as far away as possible. It's not easy swimming in eternal frost, especially when danger lurks in every dark corner. By sunset, my search almost felt pointless, but then I found another shipwreck with a small stash of emeralds and lapis. By the way, those emeralds will play a huge role later and completely change this survival. I crafted a few new iron pickaxes and prepared myself for a fight with the phantoms. Day 7. I'm still struggling with iron, so I decided to deal with that problem once and for all. I went mining and headed down to Y level 16, where there's more of the ore I need. My search led me to gold, flooded caves, and most importantly, new sources of dirt. I spent the entire day and night mining, hoping to finally solve my safety issues and deal with the phantoms soon. Day 8. While I was gone, this tiny piece of ice turned into a full bamboo stand. That's a perfect reason to harvest it. Suddenly, I realized I need to collect all the bamboo and massively scale up the farm. I didn't want to do that on the main island, so I found a small spot nearby next to an ice chunk and started preparing soil for planting. Of course, the phantoms ruined my plans, and I had to quickly hide underwater. This time, there were 4 of them, and they were getting more aggressive every time. To not waste time, I decided to head into the caves to search for more dirt, and honestly, gathering resources without those annoying flying rats is pure pleasure. Day 9. I watched a phantom burn while stuck in a boat and happily returned to my farm. I kept expanding it and planning my next steps. Nearby, I placed a crafting table and made storage for swords and bamboo. Finally, the moment came I could craft iron armor and make my life at least a bit safer. And of course, following the rules of my challenge, this will be the only armor I use in this survival. I watched the sunset over the endless horizon and tried to continue building the farm at night. A massive storm began, and it kept getting colder and harder to do anything, but giving up now is not an option. Suddenly, I had an idea of how to get a bed and immediately started working on it. Day 10. If I remember correctly, wool can be crafted from string, which means it's time to think about a proper mob farm. I started marking out a 2-block wide column, but soon realized I needed a slightly different design. I quickly removed some cobblestone and added another block to the drop shaft so spiders could fall properly instead of getting stuck. Around noon, the weather finally cleared and I continued building walls out of bamboo slabs. From above, I looked at my island and bamboo farm and realized just how much work still lies ahead. Using cobblestone, I marked out a 3-block wide platform and immediately started building walls to control water flow. Day 11. I'm busy harvesting bamboo because I'm seriously lacking blocks to build the farm. I use the last bits of cobblestone and andesite, hoping to create a spawning floor for mobs, but I run out of blocks almost instantly. I craft a batch of trapdoors from yellow planks and place them strategically so mobs fall into the water and drop down below. I try to fight the phantoms, but it's an uneven battle and I'm forced to retreat back home. Inside the iceberg, I dig out a small hole and wait out the rest of the night there. Day 12. Using the bamboo I gathered earlier, I finally start building the walls and get one step closer to finishing the farm. While waiting for more bamboo to grow, I take the time to explore nearby ice formations. I come across a pretty interesting arch, but aside from that, I find nothing useful. At night, I head down into the mine and start grinding cobblestone to speed up block collection. collection. Day 13. This morning begins with the final stage of building the farm. I'm almost done. By noon, I gather another batch of bamboo, and now I can officially say the main structure of the farm is complete. Down below, I place a chest along with hoppers and slabs. At night, I try to build a tall pillar to climb up and test mob spawning, but suddenly I realize a very unpleasant thing. I quickly reclaim my territory from creepers and light everything up. Still, I have to spend the rest of the night hiding in my little hole, hoping these phantom problems will end soon. Day 14. I climb up to the observation platform, and now all that's left is to wait. The view from up here is incredible, but surviving in these conditions is still really tough. By noon, a decent number of mobs have gathered, and I finally see my first strings in the chest. That's a huge success, but I still need more. Day 15. The second batch includes quite a few creepers, so I have to be extremely careful. I already have 9 strings, just 3 more until I can craft wool. I spend most of the day conserving energy, but in the evening I get a huge surprise. I relax for just a moment, and a creeper explodes on the farm. Looks like these green guys have big plans for ending my survival, but then I suddenly notice my first zombie villager, who, for some reason, starts drowning. I manage to deal with some of the creepers and quickly secure the farm. It's a chaotic night, but in the end, I find a very valuable gift in my inventory, something dropped by that zombie. Day 16. Without hesitation, I make a small improvised farm and plant my first potatoes. Using bone meal, I multiply them, and now, besides fish, I finally have another food source. By noon, I check the mob farm and collect 12 strings, meaning after 16 days, I finally have a bed. I never thought I'd be this happy about a bed, but trust me, this feeling is unmatched. I organize my storage, and it feels like I'm finally ready to move forward and tackle the next problem. At sunset, exhausted but satisfied, I can finally go to sleep. Day 17. I can't ignore my bamboo farm. I'll be coming back here a lot. The problem is, I still don't have enough building blocks. Building the mob farm was already a struggle, and I still have no idea what I'll use to build a proper house. Around noon, I explore nearby icebergs and light them up. I spend the rest of the day doing this, staying extra careful at night. From the observation platform, I notice the first snowfall, and interestingly, it's much warmer down below. Not warm enough to melt ice, though. Day 18. I find an underwater alien in a boat, and I guess I have a pet now. I restock my shovels and focus on seriously increasing my dirt supply. Using doors, I explore underwater caves, trying to find any source of useful blocks. My bamboo farm exists, but even at its current scale, it's not enough for comfortable building. That clearly needs to change. As it turns out, there's a whole network of underwater caves beneath my iceberg, and exploring them is actually pretty exciting. Day 19. By noon, I managed to gather 8 stacks of dirt, which is a great start. I watch a squid trying to crawl onto land and continue building a new platform. After fighting drowned and collecting another batch of bamboo, I quickly replant everything, and progress continues slowly but steadily. Day 20. I reach nearby ice chunks and keep expanding my platforms because, as they say, there's no such thing as too much bamboo. Day 21. I remember a submerged ruin I found earlier and decide to go back and explore it for more loot. Turns out there's a decent supply of coal and even a pretty good fishing rod. For now, my iron armor is enough for exploring places like this. But will it be enough for the Nether? That's still a big question. On my way back, I see my massive bamboo farm on the horizon, and I'm really proud of it. I spend the rest of the day gathering building blocks and doing routine tasks. Day 22. I expand my storage a bit more, but I can't shake this feeling. I don't have a home. I'm constantly freezing, surviving on a chunk of ice, and all I can do is dream about a warm, cozy house. Well, it's time for some serious expansion. I find the center of the iceberg iceberg and start building outward in all directions, marking out a circle. You already know how much I love building circles, so this survival won't be an exception. Thanks to the relatively small size, progress is pretty fast, and by noon, the outline is complete. As the sun sets, I quickly light everything up and start working on the interior. Day 23. I climb up to the observation platform, and honestly, I like what I see. In just 30 minutes, I've massively expanded my survival space, but of course, the biggest changes are still ahead. It still feels a bit small, so I decide to add a few more layers of blocks to make sure there's enough room for multiple farms and my future house. I also build a small path so I don't have to swim to my bamboo plantations anymore. Running on land feels way better. Day 24. With this scale of bamboo production, I can get around 17 stacks of blocks in a single harvest, which is actually pretty good. I gather all my resources and start preparing to finally build the house I've been dreaming about for so long. Back in the mine, I dig a tunnel down to deep slate to use it for a stone farm. But suddenly, in one of the caves, I find a zombie village rant. That discovery really gets me thinking. Day 25. Very carefully, I place him into a boat. He's definitely going to be useful soon. I continue mining and find my first diamonds, which is a really nice bonus. I'm not allowed to craft armor, but no one said anything about strong tools. After gathering enough gray blocks, I craft deep slate bricks and begin building a stone farm. Day 26. I pour water over the hoppers on both sides and place lava above it to generate stone. I break a few blocks. Everything works perfectly. That means I now have another farm that will significantly boost my block production. Armed with stone pickaxes, I spent the rest of the night mining cobblestone. Day 27. Time to take a break and light up a few more nearby icebergs. In the future, I'll need to search for zombie villagers, so I want to prevent mob spawns outside my farm as much as possible. Jumping across the slippery ice, completely unaware, I stumble upon this. I couldn't believe my eyes, but that's not even the best part. This wandering trader had an oak sapling, a sapling that could completely change the course of this survival because a tree in such harsh frozen conditions is unbelievable. I rush back home, grab my emeralds from the ruins and shipwrecks, and of course, make the trade. I have no idea how he got here or what brought him to this frozen wasteland, but I definitely owe him because surviving on cobblestone and bamboo planks alone isn't going to get me far. At sunset, I find an interesting needle-shaped iceberg, but no polar bears nearby. After eating some baked potatoes, I head into underwater caves to search for iron and dirt. Day 28. I combine dirt with regular gravel to create coarse dirt, which I can then turn back into normal dirt. This method isn't new, but in my situation, it's incredibly effective. I plant 2 saplings, and soon my island will finally start to come alive. By noon, I have 1 large tree and hope for a brighter future. At least, I'd like to believe that. Day 29. I spend the day chopping trees and speeding up sapling growth thanks to my XP farm. I can use bone meal freely. I keep multiplying dirt and expanding space for planting oak saplings. Using cobblestone, I build an outer frame for my island to make it look a bit better while planning my next steps. Day 30. I climb up to the observation platform and look at how much has changed. Gathering all my strength, I rush to the bamboo farm and massively increase my stock. I think it's finally time to start preparing for building my house, but I'll still need a lot more resources. At night, a creeper tries to scare me, but the dense bamboo slows it down. I store another batch of bamboo planks and continue expanding the platform. Day 31. By noon, the platform is fully complete, and in the evening, I finally take a moment to relax and enjoy the beautiful sunset. Day 32. The bamboo grind continues, and honestly, I don't even know what I'd do without it. I spend the entire day organizing my storage, collecting oak logs, and planning the layout of my future house. Day 33. I craft another batch of slabs and begin expanding the platform. Now I have access to large amounts of wood, but not enough space to plant it. After marking out an area with cobblestone, I reach a small nearby iceberg and reshape it slightly. I quickly light everything up and start filling in the inner part of the circle. From the center block, I count 3 blocks out and dig holes for dirt. Day 34. I grow another batch of trees and immediately start chopping them down. Yeah, it's pretty repetitive, but it has to be done. At sunset, I look over everything from a distance and switch into waiting mode, hoping to gather more bones and maybe find another zombie villager. Day 35. Carefully, I kill mobs with my axe, hoping to find the one I need. Around noon, I get caught in a snowstorm, and surprisingly, it actually follows the wind. Honestly, I've never seen anything like that in Minecraft before. At night, I reduce the mob population, but aside from basic drops, I get nothing useful. Still, I'm sure it's just a matter of time. Day 36. While waiting for bamboo to grow for more planks, I need something to do so. This is how I spend my time. On the way back home, my boat sinks, and I think it finally deserves a name. Yeah, in this world, the icebergs are so unforgiving, they don't spare a single boat. By evening, another batch of trees grows, and I once again refill my log supplies, something I'll definitely need for building the frame of my house. The past few days have been so productive that I completely forgot about sleep, and of course, the phantoms took advantage of that. Day 37. Using slabs, I craft new blocks with an interesting pattern. I rarely use bamboo for this, so it's something new for me. Preparations are complete, resources are gathered, and I'm finally at the stage of building my own house. First, I use logs to mark out the layout and try to fit future rooms onto this small platform. Once again, the quiet night is interrupted by phantoms, but this time they won't get away so easily. I build a foundation for the walls out of cobblestone and increase the height of the columns. Day 38. Using an axe, I strip the logs and start building walls around the entire house. I leave spaces for windows empty for now. I have a big problem with glass at the moment. Overall, it already looks pretty interesting, but this is just a basic outline. Living here like this would feel strange. Busy days are ahead, so getting some rest wouldn't hurt. Day 39. Somehow, I managed to dig up a few blocks of sand from under the gravel, but it's nowhere near enough for proper windows. So I improvise and replace glass with fences. There might be a bit of a draft, but I don't really have a choice. I restock my pickaxes and head into the mine to gather deep slate. I'll need it for the roof base, and it's also a great excuse to search for more diamonds. Day 40. After digging a long tunnel, I mark it out every 3 blocks. These will become future mining rooms for diamond hunting. This method is actually very effective, and by noon, I discover my first vein. I spent the entire day doing this, and by sunrise, I've gathered enough deep slate to last me for a while. Day 41. I'm standing on the very iceberg where it all began, but trust me, I still have a lot to show you. I clear out the entire oak forest, and by evening, return to building my house. At the front, I start marking out the roof using stairs and blocks. In my case, the roof will have multiple levels, so starting from the main hall, I add another layer to the layout. Day 42. The house feels a bit too small, so I decide to add a second floor where I can place an enchanting table and a small balcony. After marking out the roof, the structure turns out pretty tall, but honestly, that might even be a good thing. Step by step, the construction is moving forward, and from the outside, it's starting to look like something real. On my way back home, my second boat sinks. I'm starting to think there's something seriously wrong with this iceberg. Day 43. I build the frame of the second floor using oak logs and immediately move on to the bamboo walls. The main structure is ready, so I shift to filling in the inner parts of the roof. To make the build more interesting, I try to alternate different types of planks, though I only really have two options. By sunset, I reach the top of the front roof and slowly work my way down, placing blocks one by one. I add deep slate stairs at the base of each room and build a small side roof on the right. Looking at the structure, I'm honestly liking it so far. Day 44. At the very top, I seal everything with dark slabs. Now I just need to figure out the attic walls and where to place the chimney. To break up the monotony of the roof, I add more slabs, which really improves the texture and adds depth to the house. From the observation platform, I realized that choosing the platform size at the start was the right decision. The house now takes up exactly half of it. On the right side, I build a chimney using different stone blocks so I can eventually add a fireplace and finally have a place to warm up. By morning, I head out to gather more cobblestone for a stone fence. Day 45. Above the entrance, I place campfires and immediately extinguish them. I decorate the exterior with a cobblestone fence, making the house feel more secure. As you can tell, the weather in this world is unpredictable, so extra protection definitely won't hurt. At sunset, I use some iron to craft lanterns and light up the outside of the house. It feels like my housing problem is finally solved, but I still need to work on the interior. However, when I check the mob farm, I find a zombie villager, but I'll deal with that later. Day 46. Inside the house, I still have my original patch of grass, so I decide to get some wheat seeds to diversify my food. I remove the potato farm and start looking for a place to build a wheat field. I craft some glass panes and start building a fireplace. In the main room, I add a couch and some plants near it. Above the stone farm, I begin building the base for a small balcony and add fences so I don't fall off. I quickly set up stairs to the second floor. Now I just need to figure out the flooring. Day 47. I clear out unnecessary building blocks and move on to creating a proper storage area. I bring my bed over from the Iceberg, but it somehow crawls away from me. After visiting the tree farm, I collect leaves to make the house feel more alive inside. I add greenery near the fireplace, in the storage room, and by the back entrance. By midnight, everything is done, and I'm really happy with the result. After all the struggle and cold, I finally have my own warm, cozy home. Day 48. The house fits perfectly on the platform, but I hope to add a full village around it in the future. It would be nice to relax with a warm cup of tea by the fireplace, and I wish the same for you. Looking at the house from the outside, I realize it's completely finished. I haven't visited the bamboo farm in a while, so now's the perfect time. At sunset, I harvest every last piece of bamboo and store it away. Day 49. I set off on a small journey to search for more dirt. About 200 blocks away, I find a good area with underwater caves that still have small clusters of what I need. After spending half the day swimming through caves, I eventually go back to my old method duplicating dirt using gravel. It's not the most convenient, but it's definitely faster than wandering through caves. Day 50. At sunset, I return home, find a clear space, and place down dirt blocks. I till them with a shovel and collect them again. I spend the whole day doing this, and by evening, exhausted, I finally go to sleep in my warm bed. Day 51. I spend the first half of the day gathering bamboo and crafting new blocks. Then I make a diamond pickaxe and head into the mine to find a lava pool. It's time to prepare for building a nether portal. To defeat the dragon, I'll need ender pearls and blaze powder, but we'll take it step by step. On the way back, I grab a quick snack and say hello to my lonely green librarian, who seems to have been here since the beginning of time. Day 52. I decide to place the nether portal on the second floor near the balcony, just as planned. I try to decorate it a bit, but it turns out how it turns out. I'll postpone going into the nether for now. The important thing is that I now have access to it. I've got more pressing issues, like finally setting up a proper farm. Near the house, I fence off a small area, fill it with dirt, add water sources, and till the soil. After collecting some bones from the XP farm, I head back home. Looks like I'll spend the evening planting wheat. Even this small farm makes the house look so much better, and in these harsh conditions, that's already a huge win. Half of the survival is already behind me, and it's time to move on to the next stage, finding villagers. The night views from the observation platform are incredible, but by the end of this survival, I want to scale everything up even more. Day 53. Carefully killing mobs, I spot my first witch, the key to curing zombie villagers. Behind the farm, I place a boat and try to lure her in. She's not happy about it, but eventually she ends up where I need her. I restore the farm and return to my waiting tower, hoping to find a zombie villager soon. At night, a creeper causes some trouble, but I deal with it quickly. Day 54. By noon, luck is finally on my side. I find my first zombie villager, and just a minute later, another one drops down. I definitely didn't expect that, but honestly, it's even better. Carefully placing boats near the witch, I try to lure the zombies in, but it's not easy. Suddenly, one of them falls to the bottom, and I have to act fast. I manage to slow his fall using planks, but now the problem is getting him back up. Thankfully, he climbs up placed blocks, but there's still a risk he'll turn into a drowned. During the night, he loses his path and ends up back at the bottom, but I still have hope. By sunrise, he somehow makes it back to the surface, and the real chaos is just beginning. Day 55. Carefully, I place him into a boat with the witch. Half the job is done, but I quickly run out of potatoes, and without food, curing is impossible. I rush to harvest everything and throw gold into the furnaces to smelt. With a few minutes to spare, I warm up by the fireplace. I now have 2 golden apples, but I still need to move the second boat closer to the witch. Day 56. Using a fishing rod, I manage to pull it into position. Now comes the hardest part, curing. I build a temporary platform and bamboo walls near the witch to protect myself from potions. I get as close as possible, trying to trigger the effect, but nothing works. I'm running low on food, and something tells me this process is going to take a while. By sunset, I come up with a new plan. From the other side, the witch starts throwing potions, which instantly activate on impact with the blocks. All of this is happening during a storm, with thunder and lightning. It feels intense and unsettling. I'm on the verge of death multiple times, but still can't get the effect. One last attempt, but I miss again, and now I'm completely out of food. Day 57. I keep trying, and finally, I see the effect I need. Immediately, I give the villagers golden apples to start the curing process. After nearly an hour of pure chaos, it finally works. First thing I do is thank the witch for her help, then eat what little bread I have left. I remove the temporary walls and wait. After a few minutes, these frozen survivors become part of my life here, and hopefully they'll help me move forward. I quickly transport them to my house, and they instantly start settling in. Thanks to time spent at the XP farm, I can craft multiple beds and temporarily house them. Day 58. After such intense days, it's finally time to slow down a bit and chop some trees. I'm planning to farm emeralds and trade with villagers to get something very important. By noon, I cut down the first batch of logs and plant new saplings. The villagers have already settled in and are busy with their routines. I've run out of potatoes and wheat, so it's time to go fishing and diversify my food supply. By evening, tired but satisfied, I head to bed. Day 59. The era of circles is officially over. I want a major redesign of my platform. Armed with slabs, I head to the left side and start sketching out new land. I build it in a rough, random shape, planning to refine it later. As more villagers arrive, space will become a problem, so expansion is inevitable. I step back, observe everything, and plan the next layout. As darkness falls, I light up the entire area, and just in time. With wind, rain, and storm all around, I start filling in the platform. It's boring work, but I need a lot of space to bring my plans to life. Day 60. After just 10 minutes, about 30% is already done, but there's no time to relax. By noon, the sky's clear, making work much easier. When I reach the tree farm, I realize I've run out of building blocks, so it's time to to restock. Suddenly, one of my villagers disappears. I spend a long time searching, but find nothing, and a creeping fear sets in. I might have to cure another zombie villager all over again. Day 61. I finally figure out where my missing villager might be, and I was right. While I was away, he decided to warm up in the Nether, but I've got some bad news for him. After a quick rescue operation, I can safely return to expanding the platform. By noon, it's grown significantly and actually looks pretty good. I harvest my crops and realize I urgently need to expand my food production to sustain the villagers. Behind the house, I pick a decent spot, add dirt, till the soil, place water, and plant seeds. I only have 2 villagers, but I already need to think about breeding and future professions. I fence off the second farm and get one step closer to bringing life to this iceberg. I spend the rest of the night at the tree farm. Day 62. I move the composters closer to the second exit and fence the villagers in so they don't wander off. I give them their first batch of bread, hopefully. It'll pay off soon. Using flint and planks, I craft fletching tables and continue preparing for tool trading. I sell sticks for my first emeralds and buy some basic stone tools. Next, I trade iron to level up the toolsmith, aiming for diamond tools. Since I'm running low on iron, I head out to mine more and grab some cobblestone along the way. Day 63. I stumble upon a massive dirt deposit, and there's no way I'm ignoring that. By noon, I buy my first diamond axe with efficiency, but it's not enough. My ultimate goal is a silk touch tool. Without it, I won't be able to pull off my plans. Day 64. The villagers still aren't breeding. Maybe it's a lack of bread. I speed up wheat growth and harvest everything, giving it all to them. Seems like it finally works. We're getting somewhere, but there's still a long way to go. Suddenly, I crave something warm and tropical, so I decide to build a palm tree. Yeah, it's spontaneous, but I need some greenery in this frozen world. I quickly build a trunk out of oak and climb up to work on the leaves. It's surprisingly fun, constantly using water to go up and down while placing blocks. By sunrise, the first version is ready. Day 65. I refine the leaves. They looked too thin before. Block by block, I build small bridges to shape them properly. It's just a rough draft, but it's something. I plan to build a second, smaller palm near the wheat farm. At this point, I completely run out of wood, so it's time to restock and gather more leaves too. Day 66. My first iron golem appears, and I already know what to do. His sacrifice won't be in vain. His iron will go straight into trading. The baby villagers are happily jumping on beds, unaware of the harsh world outside. Suddenly, I find a white cat on the terrace and immediately want to tame it. It looks so cold and helpless it quickly ends up sitting in a boat. I spot some villagers near the fireplace and get worried they might cause trouble, so I seal the fire off with glass. To relax, I go fishing, doing it with a diamond axe. It's surprisingly fun. In the evening, a drowned with a trident interrupts me, but I manage to escape. My first pet is officially tamed, and I think I already have a name for her. After a long time, I return to the bamboo farm and restock supplies. Day 67. Back on the island, the 2 palm trees look pretty funny. The villagers have become much braver and now roam freely outside. I tame an orange cat and quickly grow their population. I'll call them Mr. and Mrs. Cat. I craft bamboo planks and continue trading with the Fletcher. Looking around, I realize the survival is progressing well, but I still have a lot to do. Trading continues, and I head out again to gather more iron to speed things up. I spend the rest of the night mining. Day 68. I find an amethyst geode and grab some blocks for decoration. Along with iron, I also collect more dirt. There's plenty of space to green now. I smelt the iron and continue trading with a new villager. At night, everyone goes to sleep, and honestly, I should too. Day 69. One of the golems gets stuck in the attic, and that gets me thinking about building an iron farm. I sell all my iron and unlock a diamond pickaxe with fortune and unbreaking, but it's still not what I need. Back in the mine, I gather lava. Day 70. I keep trading, but still no luck. I'm determined to find a Silk Touch pickaxe, but RNG isn't on my side. I harvest wheat and take a moment to think. I have villagers, food, and a cozy house, but it's not enough. The next step is building an iron farm. Without it, getting the right tools could take forever. In the evening, I head to the XP farm to lure a zombie. He'll be needed to scare villagers for the farm. Day 71. I continue building the iron farm, setting up the platform for golem spawning. I add water and place signs above it. I spend the rest of the day farming bamboo for trading, and at night, I head back to the XP farm. Using a fishing rod, I carefully pull a zombie toward my island. Getting into a boat with him in iron armor would be risky. After a few minutes, he's in place. Time for the next step. I wake up the villagers for a relocation. Day 72. The next issue is preventing golems from spawning outside the farm. To fix this, I cover every block within an 8-block radius with buttons. It's simple, but very resource intensive. I also have to deal with another golem spawning on the balcony, so I cover everything with buttons. I give villagers line of sight to the zombie. Add some slab sand, the farm instantly starts working. Day 73. I manually collect enough iron to craft hoppers and automate the farm. I check 4 toolsmiths, find efficiency tools, but still no Silk Touch. The farm is working well, but breeding is still an issue. It's getting crowded, so I move the villagers outside. Some even end up swimming in freezing water, but quickly figure things out. Day 74. Now they'll live outdoors, and I've got another idea. I craft boats and head into the Nether, searching for a warped forest. Near the portal, I find a bastion and decide to explore it, even though it's extremely dangerous. I carefully sneak in through the outer walls and check inside. I kill my first brute piglin and keep exploring. I try to find chests, but none are in the outer sections. Eventually, fear takes over and I decide to leave. I spend the rest of the night searching for the biome I need. Day 75. Finally, I find the warped forest. I trap my first Enderman in a boat and quickly kill it. One of my main goals is to defeat the dragon, but for now, I need ender pearls and blaze rods. I spend the whole day hunting Endermen, but pearl drops are rare and progress is slow. By morning, I manage to collect 7, though one falls straight into lava. Day 76. I find a good area with lots of Endermen. His should speed things up. On my way back, I unexpectedly stumble upon a Nether fortress, something I've been dreading. Carefully, I bridge over and get inside. I block off the entrance and find my first chest. I spot a blaze outside, but I have no idea how to fight them yet. I try hitting them through walls, but they keep flying away, making it difficult. Day 77. I find a room with a blaze spawner. My chances improve slightly. I dig a tunnel under it and try to fight them one by one. After a minute, I get my first blaze rod, but that's nowhere near enough. The situation gets intense. Fighting them in iron armor is brutal. After every hit, I run away, often taking heavy damage. At one point, I'm down to half a heart. Pure luck saves me. This iron armor challenge just hit a whole new level, and honestly, I'm starting to regret it. I craft blaze powder and manage to get 10 eyes of ender. Hopefully that's enough. I'm standing above a lava abyss, but somehow the worst part is already behind me. I retrace my steps and finally head home, ready to forget this nightmare. Day 78. By noon, I finally make it back home. First thing, I bake more bread to recover. I throw an eye of ender and follow it in a boat. After about 200 blocks, it points underwater, which can only mean one thing. Somehow the stronghold has been right under my nose this whole time. I dig down into a library. Maybe I can finally get Silk Touch. I break bookshelves and explore the rooms. After 5 minutes, I find the portal room, but there's a problem. Day 79. I'm missing just one eye. One single eye of ender stands between me and the end, but I have to postpone this journey. There are more urgent things to deal with. I craft an enchanting table and place it on the second floor near the portal. With lapis ready, I start enchanting pickaxes. I get unbreaking, efficiency, fortune, but no Silk Touch. After 10 attempts, I'm stuck. I now have 2 Fortune 3 pickaxes but still no silk touch. I thought enchanting would be the easiest way, but it turns out to be anything but. Day 80. I decide to try another method. I place lecterns for villagers and keep resetting trades, hoping for a silk touch book. If villagers and the enchantment table both failed me, then my last hope is a librarian, and you know what? After 15 minutes, still nothing. Day 81. There's no way I'm giving up now. I've come way too far. After 35 attempts, the book finally appears, and I can't even describe how happy I was in that moment. I spent 20 days searching for it. 8 hours of gameplay just to get this enchantment for my pickaxe. I've never had a grind this long before. I quickly craft an anvil, combine the book with my pickaxe, and just like that, a whole new world of possibilities opens up. A minute later, I collect my first grass block, and finally, the idea of bringing life to my iceberg becomes real. I add some dirt near the house and head off to mine one of the ice chunks. Now I can even control ice itself, which makes survival much easier. At first it was my only source of survival. Now it's also a building material. Day 82. I expand my iceberg, giving it more volume. This is where my journey began, but now it's no longer just an iceberg. It's something much bigger. I place a sign with a simple smiley face as a reminder anything is possible. From the observation platform, I look over the island. It's time for the final stage of my development. I don't have much time left, but I still want to build a village for my villagers and expand the island even more. By noon, I head to the bamboo farm for resources. Thanks to its scale, I don't need to visit it nearly as often as before. I craft a new batch of planks and return home. Day 83. I head into the mine to gather deep slate. I want to build more houses, so I need materials for roofing. Day 84. I restock logs and move one step closer to my plans. Using bone meal, I bring life to the right side of the island. Hopefully, animals will appear here, but honestly, I don't know if that's even possible in a world like this. I harvest all the wheat and, in the evening, begin building the first small house. It will cover the iron farm, so it doesn't ruin the island's look. Nearby, I mark out another house for villagers, but quickly realize I'm lacking space. I remove the cobblestone layout and store the blocks. Day 85. I begin a massive ice collection project to build artificial cliffs on my island. I quickly divide the platform into sections, separating the tree farm from my house. Now I need to raise everything about 10 blocks higher to create a proper ice mountain where I can build a village. By evening, I reach the second layer and keep going. I kill a creeper on the glacier and continue gathering blocks. Day 86. At this pace, my pickaxe is breaking before my eyes, but I have no choice. I split the layout into 2 parts and plan to raise the left side even higher. Eventually, my tree farm ends up tucked under the ice, and hopefully, it still works. The final step is building the floor, which takes the rest of the night. From the observation platform, I realize it was absolutely worth it. This is no longer just a flat platform, it's a real island. Day 87. I keep fighting monsters for control over the ice, and some of them are surprisingly tricky. By noon, I completely block sunlight from reaching the trees. The last thing I want is to make the cliff base more natural and detailed. Overall, it looks solid and realistic. On top of the glacier, I mark out 2 houses for villagers and plan the next steps. I carve an entrance to the tree farm, and from the inside, it looks amazing. After checking on my pets, I expand the tree farm for future projects. Then I immediately move on to building the second house over the iron farm, starting with the frame. Day 88. Time is running out, so I need to speed things up. After the farm, I'll move straight to villager houses step by step. By noon, I strip the logs and plan window placement. Looking from a distance, the artificial cliffs finally add the depth I've wanted for so long. By sunset, I move on to designing the roof. I build attic walls and leave space for a window. Alternating wood and bamboo blocks, I construct the roof, and it's coming together nicely. Day 89. I cover parts of the build with slabs to add more depth, just like with my main house. Inside, I place buttons on the floor so golems can't spawn. Now I have another completed structure, but it needs exterior reinforcement, so I add fences. I decorate the entrance with stairs, slabs, and lanterns. Day 90. The villagers had a short break, but now it's back to work. Suddenly, one golem decides to rebel and spawns outside on the stairs. I run around checking everything carefully. Next up, roofs for the smaller house and a larger one for villagers. At night, a heavy storm hits and adds even more challenges. Day 91. I craft gates and use them as windows in the village. It's time to build the roof from deep slate and speed things up because the dragon fight is still ahead. I quickly mark out 3 sections in the main house and add bamboo walls for the attic. Suddenly, a wandering trader distracts me. He's selling sand blocks. I don't know what changed, but in newer versions, they're incredibly useful. By evening, I continue working on the roof and add slabs for decoration. Day 92. From the observation platform, I see how much the island has changed, but it still lacks greenery and warmth. I buy a shovel from a villager and decide to fix that. At the ocean floor, I start collecting gravel because bringing life to even half the island will require a lot of it. Day 93. I convert coarse dirt back into normal dirt and collect it. It's tedious but necessary. I pick a clear area on the cliff, making the process easier. By night, I've gathered 10 stacks. Great progress. I immediately start placing dirt near the small houses. The main green area will be near the palm tree on the left side. Day 94. Next, I need to borrow some grass blocks from myself and reposition them. I spend the rest of the day mining cobblestone to prepare for another idea. Day 95. To protect myself from drowned, I surround the area with fences. They've become way too common lately. I also close off the edges of the cliff so villagers don't fall. My island finally feels complete, and I'm ready for the finale. At night, I plant regular trees, and soon this iceberg will have its own forest. Day 96. I spend the whole day farming bones and planning final improvements. By evening, the villagers begin moving into their new homes, and they actually seem happy about it. Day 97. After some time, grass spreads everywhere, which is the perfect chance to add flowers and more life. I've done everything I wanted, but now comes the final challenge. Armed with arrows, water, and food, I head to the Nether to find a fortress. As you remember, I was missing just one eye of Enderand. I'm going to fix that. Fighting blazes is a bit easier now, but arrows don't help much. I dig under the spawner, grab the final blaze rod, and head for the exit, where a skeleton is already waiting. Day 98. Sitting in a boat, I finally return to the portal and prepare for the final goal. The portal is activated, and it's time to show the dragon who's in charge. Some crystals I destroy by hand, others with a bow. After a few minutes, the dragon doesn't stand a chance. I just need to wait for the right moment to strike. Endermen keep interfering, but that's exactly why I brought water. The dragon spends most of its time flying, but even it has to land eventually. Day 99. One last Enderman, a few final sword hits, and my mission is complete. As a bonus, I get a ton of experience and, of course, the dragon egg as a trophy. Back home, I gather some ice and head to an empty hill near the village. I quickly build a mini iceberg and place the dragon egg on top, surrounding it with leaf spikes. Not sure why, but it felt like the right way to decorate it. Day 100. And here it is, the final day of my survival. As a last touch, I decorate the villagers' houses and take one final walk around my island. I've done everything I planned and even more. And to think, it all started with a tiny piece of ice and a single bamboo. This survival journey comes to an end. It was an incredible experience, and I hope you enjoyed the video. You'll be able to download this map for survival and exploration on my Patreon. Don't forget to subscribe out my channel and leave a comment to support the video. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Simon, and I'll see you again soon.